Good morning. I want to welcome everyone to CBCP's 10th Congressional Briefing. My name is Cynthia. I'm the Director of the Center for Evidence-Based Crime Policy at George Mason University. Dr. Charlotte Gill, our Deputy Director, is at Frontier as well, and we would very much like to extend our warm welcome and thanks for your participation today. Today is our 10th Congressional Briefing because this year is CBCP's 10th birthday. So for those of you who have been following us all this time, I cannot believe 10 years have passed this quickly. But today, I'm very pleased to welcome you to this Congressional Briefing. We are going to be focusing on the progress that criminology has made since LBJ's Crime Commission and to discuss the next National Criminal Justice Commission, which is being considered today in the 115th Congress. The CBCP is proud to organize annual briefings on important topics in criminal justice each year with the goal of bringing scientific findings from criminological research to the Capitol. Before I begin, I would like to extend our gratitude to the Harry Frank Guggenheim Foundation. They not only provided support for us to have today's briefing and today's events, but also support for all of the papers from this project that will appear in our discipline's journal, Criminology and Public Policy. On the back of your agendas, we will send you a link, but all of these papers will be freely available today for you to download and access, including the papers that have not been, of the speakers who are not here today. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Dan Wilhelm, President of the Foundation, who also joins us with Senior Program Officer Dr. Joel Wallman. Dan and Joel. There. Hi, Dan, Joel. Thank you again for the Guggenheim support and for your support and guidance throughout this process. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to more partnerships in the future. I'd also like to thank Senator Gary Peters' office, who helped to coordinate this beautiful venue that we're using today. Senator Peters, along with Senators Lindsey Graham and John Cornyn, introduced the bipartisan bill that will create the National Criminal Justice Commission, and Senator Peters will be here today at 12 noon to close our session with some words. Finally, I really would like to thank Ted Guest, who's sitting up front here, President of Criminal Justice Journalists. He is really the impetus behind this project. Ted wanted to bring criminologists together at our annual American Society of Criminology Conference to focus on this issue, to look at the research that has happened since the 1967 Commission. And I'm just grateful that he called upon the CBCP to turn his idea into reality and that we could play a part in jumpstarting criminology's participation in the next Criminal Justice Commission. Today we're going to hear from many of the nation's top criminologists who will highlight what we know from decades of research in areas of juvenile justice, prosecution, policing, corrections, race in the criminal justice system, narcotics and drug abuse, domestic violence, criminal justice statistics, science and technology, and also to discuss the prospects for the next Crime Commission. I think it's very important to state that the anchor for the next commission has to be rigorous science and research evidence. We have already seen countless examples of when criminal justice can be harmful or ineffective because decisions have been made ignoring scientific knowledge. So anchoring the next commission in science will be essential to its legitimacy, its implementation, and longevity of its findings and recommendations. And this is the important theme that we are going to emphasize today. As I mentioned to you, all of the papers from today's briefings are going to be available online, and we will send everyone a link. I'm also going to ask the speakers to speak only for 8 minutes. So this is going to be a very fast-paced process. I apologize ahead of time if I appear to be too much of an enforcer of this rule, but we'd like to give everyone a fair shot at speaking today. So without further delay, I would like to introduce our first speaker and original member of the 1967 Commission, Professor Alfred Bluestein from Carnegie Mellon University, who will speak about science and technology developments since the commission. Al, welcome.